Hey YouTube, it's Nick here. Welcome to my channel. So we're going to be doing a portfolio overview for the month of August. Now, I'll probably have a picture somewhere of what I've had last month. I don't know necessarily how much I've added because even though I do daily DCAs, I sometimes throw extra money in when I feel a little bit froggy about the market or if things kind of dip a little bit. Now, first thing we're going to go over is Robinhood and Coinbase. We're also going to go through my philosophy of why I pick the things I pick. And then last but not least, I'm probably going to just leave you with some words of encouragement and a little bit of some motivation. So if this video helps you, let me know what you think, especially if you haven't invested and you're thinking about doing it in the first place. So we're going to hop straight into it. We have a couple of things in here. We have Bitcoin, we have Ethereum, we have Pax Gold, we have HBAR, VOO, QQQM, SKHD, AMD, Microsoft, Micron, MU, Google, Cheesecake Factory, SoFi, Amazon. Let's just hop straight into the stocks because this is what I'm also going to be focusing on, especially this month for August. Now, compared to crypto, it's it's really low, right? So if you look at my entire portfolio, like we're like 65% in Bitcoin, so that's a lot. And my goal is to basically have VOO or the S&P 500 almost equal or kind of overtake Bitcoin. That's the main thing with that. So the main reason why I have at least VOO and Bitcoin like kind of served as the base of my entire portfolio is because those are the at least the assets that I have the most conviction in. Now, as far as stocks, VOO is obviously going to be my foundation layer. We're going to get here so you can see my equity, but that's what we're going to spend most of our time putting our money in, especially in August. Right now, we've been doing about $5 a day into it, and we're going to hopefully bump that up to about $10 a day. We paused QQQM. That's basically my exposure to tech and the Nasdaq 100. So my goal was to get about one share of QQQM and then slowly start adding some individual companies. So as you see, that's why I have little tiny positions in things like Amazon, Google, AMD, Micron Technology, SoFi, and Cake. And there's a lot more that I am going to add into it, but it's not going to be my focus. Like it might be like $5 here, $10 there. We also plan to get some international exposure down the line as well too. I just believe that can drop. I believe everything's going to drop a little bit. So my main goal is to keep building up VOO and SCHD almost as that insurance. Now, for me, when I look at my entire portfolio, I kind of consider VOO, SCHD, and QQQM all one thing. I know that might not make sense, but I consider it all one thing, especially because I invest in crypto, mainly just Bitcoin, Ethereum, and gold. So, VOO, I've been watching some videos, so I know people like to see like the average cost and things like that. So we're just gonna jump right into that part too. So our average cost is $654.43. Now, this entire, at least the stock side of my portfolio, I started doing at minimum just $1 a day this year. So if you've been thinking about it, you can. That's why I love Robinhood so much is because you don't have to put so much in. Like I know a lot of people, especially younger than me, might not know this, but you back then you had to buy the whole share of something if you wanted to invest. And the way that companies like this make it so simple for you to at least start the habit, it's really a game changer in the grand scheme of everything. So we're up about 4%. We've had like some ups and some downs in it, especially over the year. But I've been starting it since this year, so we've been doing pretty good. Got some good entries here as well too. That's when I would load up a little bit. But since I dollar cost average, it's kind of the average has been going up as the S&P has been going up as well too. I'm a retail investor. I'm not someone that started with a lot of money. I'm not a hedge fund manager. I'm not someone that built a business or anything like that. I'm just a regular everyday person. The next thing that we're going to look at is QQQM. Now, I'm not even gonna go through each of the holdings like this. Like this is too much. And I think this would be easier if I was on my phone. But that's why I have Ask Flash. A link for that will be in the description below. So this has everything here, and I updated everything before I did this video. So if we keep looking at the stocks, we have QQQM. So and it'll match what's on Robinhood. So we have about one. We have one share of QQQM. So our average cost with that is going to sit around 283. Yep, average cost or no? Where's my average cost? Okay, there we go. So average cost is actually about 274. So everything right here and where I'm moving my cruiser, this will be my average cost for each asset. So the reason why I hold QQQM, similar to VOO, I consider it still the foundation of the stock side of my portfolio. So I get my exposure to all the little tiny companies you see here, like the AMD, the Microsoft, Micron, all of them. So I already get my tech exposure through there. So I'm not young. Like I'm young, but I'm not old either. I'm literally right in that middle. So I want obviously as much growth as possible. And this I have some of these holdings not similar to what you're seeing here, but I have other growth companies and like my Roth IRA, and I also get a stock match through the company I work for as well too. They give me about 15% every time I put any amount of money into it, 15% of whatever I put in. So that's just free money. So I have that sitting off in the side, but the main thing that I care about right now in this portfolio is to grow it. And tech is the thing that's going to give me that. VOO is going to give me a little bit of that stability, and then SCHD is like that icing on the cake. And that'll help us kind of transition into it. So you see, we have SCHD. We're sitting at about 13 or at least $31.68 on that, and we're up about 5% on that as well. Now, the reason why I hold it in my taxable is because I want to eventually hold thousands of SCHD shares. I don't want to wait till I'm 59 to get access to my IRA or anything like that. I want to have dividend income down the line. Now, I know that this is going to take years to build, but every day we're putting about $2 a day into that. And I'm really contemplating maybe just doing half a share or even just a whole share every paycheck into that because it's been going now. It's not going up at the rate where it's something like QQQM can go up, but it's still been going up, and it's been hitting like it's been hitting all-time highs like every day every day. So that's basically the base of the stock side of the portfolio. SCHD, QQQM, VOO, and then we have the smaller companies. So we have like our AMD. The reason why I hold AMD and we're sitting at about a 470, I'll keep the cruiser where the average cost should be. So, well, it won't even let me do it. So, um, we'll just go straight through it. So, AMD, I hold it because it's a big chip maker. It's the direct competitor to Nvidia. The thing is that with Nvidia is that Nvidia has a gargantuan market cap. So, while it's still a good company to hold, I think the upside for potential is not there compared to AMD. And there can't be one chip maker. That's the main thing. There can't be one. Somebody else is going to have to be a number two. And I think AMD is a strong number two. And being number two is not always bad. Being number two is not everyone has to be number one. But I think it's a good play. I've seen a lot of analysts, I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and I am also a believer in it being potentially a over $1,000 um, in its price as well too. It's just the share price. So our plan with that is to kind of add most of the newer capital that we get, at least like that, at least that we have left over, because my main goal is to build up cash, especially this month, but even for the rest of the year, is to build up cash. But if we have like $5 here, $10 there, I'm gonna dump it in here, especially at a time like now where we're probably going to see a lot more elevated risk in the market and a lot more things are going to drop before they take off to the moon. Microsoft, that one's sitting at 387.66 for the average price. It's up 19%. So if you do follow anything that goes on in the market, basically they had a great earnings report and it just shot up overnight. But I got that stock for free through Robinhood. So again, if you want a free stock through Robinhood, there'll be a link in the description below where you don't even have to put your own money in. And you can get anywhere from $5 to $200 in any stock that you want when you sign up through my link, especially if you never have invested and you've been thinking about doing it. A little bit goes a long way. Now, Microsoft, this is basically, honestly, my thing with Microsoft is that my entire life, I have had to use Microsoft products, no matter, and I never necessarily had a choice if I wanted to use it or not. If I wanted to do a presentation at school, Microsoft PowerPoint. If I had to write a paper, Microsoft Word. If I worked at certain jobs, Microsoft Teams. Like in some shape, form, or fashion, Microsoft is always going to be there. And then and on top of that, it's another AI play. But that's the company that I picked when I got my free stock for someone signing up through my link, because that's a because with all these positions you see, I don't want to sell them. I don't ever want to sell them. Now, yeah, if I get them up to like a couple thousands of dollars, yeah, I'll probably take profits from some of them. But right now, we're just building the base layers for that. And that's a company that I was completely comfortable holding 5 to 10 plus years. All right. Next one, Micron MU. We're sitting at like 811. So put I just put $5 there because this I believe in what they have. And one thing that I've been doing a lot is trying to understand balance sheets. I've been trying to listen to conference calls and earnings reports. That way I can kind of understand like the business aspect of these companies and how they work. And hopefully down the line, as I continue to grow and learn, I can actually probably spot opportunities on my own without having to listen to Fox Business or some influencer or some creator kind of tell me, oh, this is the time to buy it or anything like that. That way I can kind of pick up these opportunities on my own. And usually, when no one's talking about something, that's when it's the best time to get in. But you have to do your research in order to be able to find those opportunities to begin with. And with something like Micron, the fundamentals are there with the company. I'm not going to get deep into it. I think it might go lower. And again, it's just like $5, $10 there. Like I'm not, I think I'm not rolling in money. And at the same time, we want to build up a lot of cash as well too. So we're not going to be dumping a lot of money into it. Because when I was DCAing like full force, I was putting like 500, almost $600 in like every month, like since I started this portfolio. So now I want to cut back and build up that position. Next one, Google, sitting at 328.05. Again, it's everywhere. They're responsible for the biggest search engine in the world, right? YouTube. I do YouTube. At some point or another, I always had to use Google. So that's a company I believe in. I'm comfortable holding it long term. It's really not much to say about it. It's just, again, one of those companies that I have high conviction in that's going to be here for the long run. And even more, they're getting involved in AI. So a lot of these companies are actually going to do really well. And I wish I had the funds to just be able to buy like 50 shares here, 20 shares like there. Like I really wish, but that's why we do VOO and QQQM. So that way we can still get that exposure while also building up our base, and then we can have our fund money, as we continue to grow. Cheesecake Factory, you're saying at like 102.59. I said, let me just get $3 into here. Now, I've watched this stock go up from the 60s. And I really wanted to, put some money into it then, but I really just felt like that money was just better allocated to QQQM and VOO and SCHD. So I didn't stop my DCA strategy. I tried my best not to go off the pace of it. I kept my goal that once I reach one share of QQQM, then I'm gonna start adding some individual companies. So I missed the leg up. Like if you really look at the stats, like this company's up like 60% over the year. Like it's been doing well. Again, this is one of those companies that you have to actually like look at their balance sheets and actually see what they're doing. And there might be a little bit of some manipulation in there too, because the stock just shoots up like every day. Next one, SoFi Technology, 1627 sitting here with just $2. We're going to be adding more too. Honestly, this will probably be the one that I will put the most money in because the price of entry into the stock is so low. Now, the main reason why I hold SoFi Technology is because it's a little bit similar to Robinhood with me. They're trying to transform banking. They're trying to have an all-in-one ecosystem where you can get loans, you can get credit cards, you can get student loans, you can invest, everything like that. They target a young user base as well too. So and they're also doing stuff with crypto as well. But it's a company I believe in, and I think it's a disruptor because a lot of the big banks, like if you actually care about this stuff, a lot of them are like fighting to like not lose customers. Like they're trying not to lose customers to crypto, and getting like USDC rewards and stuff like that. There's a lot going on to it into it, but we're not going to get into it in this video. But it's a company I believe in, and it's probably the one I'm going to probably build up a little bit faster because a lot of these companies, well, I'll tell you in a bit. Last one we have is Amazon. That one's 271.44. I just put $1. That way we just get started on it. Because again, like I'm throwing shekels at this, but I'm trying to like slowly build these up. Now the goal for all of this is to eventually have the single companies at least be about 5% of the portfolio, 5 to 10%, 5% minimum. Now, 5% of this would be roughly about like like $175, like in each. And the goal right now is because on Robinhood, I, this is the first stage of how I'm going about it, and I'll explain. So the Robinhood portfolio is roughly over $1,000. Now, 5% on here is not the same as 5% here. Now, 5% here is about $50. So that's where I'm kind of limiting myself on the single companies that I do buy, is that once I get to at least $50 of something, I'm going to stop. Unless I have a lot of conviction in it, I'm not going to go over $50 investing into it. And the goal is that at least once I get most of the ones that I want, which as you can see here on my watch list that I do plan on adding. Once I get most of those to about 50, then we'll start adding them up. But the whole entire portfolio is approaching 5K. Now, 5% of 5K, it'll basically be about $250. So that'll be the max of what we would have for the single companies. But the main thing that we want to still be a driver at the end of the day is to be VOO of the S&P 500. That's the main thing that we want riding the portfolio. At least on Robinhood, that's the thing that we want to dominate the most. And then in the entire portfolio, I at least want VOO, QQQM, SCHD, all of them kind of combined to kind of compete with Bitcoin. So as you see, if we add it up, my core stocks, we're sitting at about 12, say so 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So like 22% of my portfolio is dominated by those three. I want at least all of that to kind of catch up to Bitcoin. But most definitely if we can get VOO to just kind of overtake Bitcoin, that'll be the that'll be a good thing to happen as well too. And I'll be happy with that. And then speaking of Bitcoin, this is the crypto that's in the portfolio. Now, I'm a big believer in Bitcoin. Long story short, 21 million coins, take it or leave it. You're not gonna get a better scarce asset than that. It's a hard asset, even though it's digital. Firm believer in that. I do believe that it will go higher. I believe it's the best asset to hold in crypto. Basically, nothing else matters. Everything else is like there's a lot of good projects, but when you start looking at the data, it just makes more sense to hold Bitcoin. Now, some Ethereum, yeah, maybe, right? So that's why we have the allocation for that as well too. Now, my goal with everything that you see here is to at least own one other coin, so one full coin. Um, Average cost for this, let's hop into it. So we have about 0.047 Bitcoin. Our average cost is around $71,000. Now, this will probably go lower. I would say before this year is over, I would probably be like in the 6,500 range. I've been DCAing basically an hour of my wages every day into Bitcoin. We stopped that now because the main goal is to build up cash. So that way I can just have it sit on the exchange, earn a yield, get cash back rewards instead of, and I do a video, I'll leave a card up for that in the left right hand part of the screen where you can see how I'm doing that with Bitcoin. But it's a high conviction asset I believe in. I just want to diversify a little bit, and I don't want to have all of my capital that I have allocated just be in one asset. Next thing that is on the list is Ethereum. Now, I think this is maybe the only altcoin that really matters when it comes to crypto because so many institutions are trying to build on top of it. There's so many things that are being launched that involve Ethereum, and on top of that, basically it's outlasted so many other coins compared to Bitcoin. Like it's been through a lot, and it's still here standing. Now, I think I think it can reach 5K. I think it can go higher, but I don't know. So we're keeping the allocation to it low. If you see the average cost here, it's about 1,852.24. And we're just kind of barely up a little bit. And since we're heading into August, all of this is probably about to drop. Like I'm prepared for a 20% drop in VOO. I'm prepared for Bitcoin to drop down to 50K. I'm prepared for Ethereum to drop down to 1,300. I'm actually prepared for all of it. And so if it when it happens, it'll happen. And then if it doesn't happen, even better. So last but not least, when it comes to crypto, is we have Pax Gold. Now, this is how I invest in gold. Now, say what you want, say what you will, but I am a big believer in tokenization. And I don't want to carry gold bars, gold coins, anything like that. Like I don't feel like dealing with it. I don't want people upselling me on spot prices of golds and going to pawn shops or anything, or going to Costco, anything like that. Like, no, I want to have my money with me at any time, and then if I do truly need it, I want to be able to click a button and have it. That's my philosophy with all of this stuff. I don't want to have to wait to get something, if that makes sense. If I have gold, I have to find someone to buy the gold. You get what I'm saying? And that's if they want to buy it. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying. Whereas with Pax Gold, I can just hit the sell button, and then whatever I'm up, I can get it now. It's very low. This is the one asset that I actually have sold throughout 2026, because sometimes I don't want to touch my cash. I kind of want to let it sit, and then gold was very volatile, like when I would sell it. So it would jump up and it would like jump down, like it would jump up and it would jump down. So basically, like all during this time, like we would just go up and go down. So I've sold it sometimes, so that way I can just cover like some expenses. And the way I sold it is that basically I would switch my debit card to have that be the asset that I would have pay for something. But I believe in gold. It's the next hard asset to Bitcoin. It's not as hard of an asset as Bitcoin, but it's still a valuable asset to hold. And Pax Gold is very underrated because it's literally backed by gold. I just don't believe in carrying around a bunch of gold or burying that gold like in a, like, I don't know, like I don't know. Like, are we gonna have some apocalypse and then like no one's gonna care about like my digital key to gold, right? That is highly possible, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm a firm believer in gold. I see it as a hedge against everything, and it's actually a valuable asset to hold. I just think the run up that it's had has been tremendous, so it's just started to cool off. If you see the average cost, we're sitting around $3,998.26. Basically, anytime it drops below that, that's when I want to add maybe like 10, 15, $20 here or there. I missed this one. I was kind of mad. All when it does, I'm gonna start doing limit orders, because sometimes when this happens, I'm either asleep or I'm at work when it drops that low, so I'm not able to catch these little dips. And I know that this is something that I should probably just dollar cost average and like buy every day, but I'm a firm believer that if I'm patient, I think I can get at least better entries on stuff, like at least with gold, I think I can. So that's really the entire portfolio. Um, Again, a lot of this was all started with like $5 to $1 a day. Now we're sitting here at about 4,500, and we actually uh, and it's technically a little bit more. But another thing is that if you do want to get into it, I have links in the description for both Coinbase and Robinhood, where you can get free Bitcoin and you can get a free stock if you do Robinhood. So just check that out if you haven't. If you are thinking about getting into it, um, why not get something for free before you start putting your own money into it? That way, if you get something for free and you see the gains that you get, you're like, you could be like, dang, what if that was $10? What if that was $20? What if that was $100? Now, Clash, unfortunately, you have to pay for this, but I don't think it's necessary to have everything all in one portfolio. I think it's just better for me because I'm doing videos like this, so I hate having to switch between both of the apps. But again, all of this started with just $5 to $10 a day. Let's say, and another thing I like about this, let's say we go back to all-time highs with, let's say we just surpass all-time highs with Bitcoin, and then VOO is definitely gonna grow over time. Let's say we just go to 850. ETH goes to, it goes past all-time highs. QQQM dominates as well too. I think we can get a 399 QQQM, and then SCHD. Like even if I just let this money sit, and if we actually go through another bull run, this could almost double, if that makes sense. And we're gonna keep dollar cost averaging, but the main thing that we're gonna be doing as well too is that we're just gonna be building up more of a cash position. So we're not gonna be investing as heavily as we had this entire year. The only things that we're going to just keep buying every day for right now is just going to be VOO and SCHD. So that way I can just keep building up that stock base and then also just kind of smoothing out the volatility that's in my entire portfolio too, because it's very Bitcoin dominated. So it's like I feel a 20% drop, but I also feel a 20% rise as well too. But let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts. What you think about my portfolio. Things you think I should change, or if maybe I'm doing something right. Maybe let me know what you hold as well too. But if you did take anything away from this video, give it a like. Subscribe if you are new. Basically, this entire channel is just my journey of investing, but we don't just do portfolio updates. We do a little bit of what I'm learning when it comes to investing. We're also are going to look at the market and kind of look and kind of see how it pertains to us, just regular people, retail investors who do start with maybe $1 or $5 a day. So that way you can kind of understand how not only these things affect you in your everyday life and how you could also take advantage of it. So that way down the line, you can actually have something that you built for yourself that you could be proud of at the end of the day. That's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good day. Bye.